Rhode Island State Police Headquarters facility. If your call is an emergency, please dial 0 for the dispatch center trooper. If you're calling to report unemployment benefit fraud, please dial 9 to reach the financial crimes unit. For all non-emergency calls, select from the following menu. Dial 1 for a dial by name directory. Dial 2 for fingerprint background checks. Dial 3 for the Lincoln Barracks. Dial 4 for Wickford Barracks. Dial 5 for the Hope Valley Barracks. Dial 6 for the Situate Barracks.
State Police Headquarters, Trooper Riley.
Hi, Trooper. My name is Shane Pichet. I'm returning a call from Sergeant Doherty.
What was your name again, sir?
Shane, last name's Pichet, P-I-C-H-E.
Shane Pichet?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 moment. I'm going to put you on hold. You
Got it.
okay?
Yep. I received a call from Sergeant Doherty asking to give him a call back about a half hour ago. So that's what this is about here.
Mr. Pichet?
Yes.
Hi, this is Sergeant Doherty. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Sergeant. How are you?
What type of do you have some tangible evidence? What are you talking about exactly?
I do. That's the whole reason I made my way to the Situate Barracks earlier this morning, because I think I have some significant tangible information that I'd like to pass along, and it was
What is it? Like when I say tangible, I mean something that I can take in my hand.
Well, I have it digitally. I guess I could print it, but I think there'd have to be an explanation of the information. And
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so very simply, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm involved in a lot of different campaigns. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind. May I ask you a few questions?
Sir, I'd really like to get to the crux of this. I mean,
I would.
You can just tell me what information you have. We can really shorten this.
Right, we can shorten it. So I believe that mailing ballots are being tampered with, and I can explain to you exactly why.
Okay,
There is only one municipality in the entire state of Rhode Island currently that has 0 ballots reported, and there are only 2 districts that have 0 ballots reported. It's
Okay.
District 14, Senate District 14, and House District 65.
Okay.
Both are completely located in East Providence.
Yeah.
East Providence is the only municipality that has no mail-in ballots reported. Are you familiar with how mail-in ballots work?
I've never had to use one, but I would assume that you get a mail-in ballot, you fill it out with some verifying information, and then you send it to the Board of Elections or to whatever the appropriate place is.
So how it works is you have to make a request for a mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
That request is made at your local Board of Canvassers via a mail request, a in-person request, or an online request.
Mm-hmm.
That Board of Canvassers at that point verifies that you are in fact a legal voter, that you are on the voter rolls based on their local voter identification, their voter roll.
Yeah.
And they submit that request to the Rhode Island Secretary of State's office.
Okay.
The Rhode Island Secretary of State's office on a daily basis provides an email, because the fact that this is public record and so many people look for this information, rather than have to go through a request process. The way they have it set up is there's a young lady, Kathy, who puts this out on a daily basis every evening at the close of business, when the Board of Canvassers report whoever requested a mail-in ballot.
Mm-hmm.
In the entire state of Rhode Island, there is only one municipality which encompasses, so when you look at it from a district standpoint, District 14 of the Senate District 14,
House of Senate.
that's the Senate District 14, House District 65, have 0 mail-in ballots reported. It's an anomaly. It's actually, it would be basically impossible. So why would that be? And this is where this is why I came to the state police today. This is why I want to explain it, because not only could we catch someone doing a nefarious activity in real time, because I believe that there is a nefarious activity going on. I'm sure.
Okay, so this is what I'm asking though.
Yes.
Like, other than this information.
Yes.
Why is
this
something else? You have like a witness to this,
So here's the thing.
Or you have something physical.
Yeah, I have the daily report from the Rhode Island Secretary of State. Now, I was on the phone today with the Rhode Island Secretary of State's office, and I asked them a plethora of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And there has, according to the conversations I had, and I can't believe that they haven't picked up on this yet, there has never been, according to this woman who couldn't answer and say that there's never been a time where a municipality had 0, since they've been doing mail-in ballots, had 0 reported requests for a ballot.
Yep.
Now, this is why it is it's election fraud and it's election tampering, and I can explain to you exactly why, and that's why I wanted to speak to someone in your department who is familiar with this, because this is a legitimate public issue.
Well, I mean, sir, I don't think anybody around with this kind of thing.
I'm sorry?
I don't think anybody around here is familiar with this kind of thing.
Well, let me ask you: Do you familiarize yourself at all with the current events that are going on? Do you know what happened about the young lady who perjured herself last evening at a town council meeting?
Was she under oath?
Yeah, I believe you, when you testify as when you speak as a member of the
You have to be sworn in by someone.
no,
in
I
order to
believe.
commit perjury, sir.
Listen, I'm not a legal. Well, let me ask you a
No,
question.
you-
If I sign an affidavit, right?
Yeah.
I am subject to the penalty of perjury. If I sign an affidavit and what I signed is inaccurate and it's proven inaccurate, is that perjury?
Has something been proven inaccurate?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
There's
What body?
a young lady in East Providence who is a member of the school board.
Yeah.
And I'm very shocked that you're not aware of this because it's all over the news. It's all over every
I
topic.
wasn't aware of it, sir.
Okay, so perjury was committed because she signed an affidavit that said that she saw signatures, and people came yesterday to the meeting and disclosed that they in fact signed it not in front of her.
Yeah.
She put it on her own social media that she left a clipboard out for people to just show up and sign the paperwork. That is a
story
fraud.
I just read from East Bay, Rhode Island, said that one person testified against her.
One person came up to not testify just against her, testified that they signed the document without her
They
present.
signed the document unknowingly because they thought they were signing for somebody else. I saw that.
Right. So that in and of itself already, whether it's 1 or it's 100, it's already a crime. If I
Yeah.
run a stop sign, did I break the law?
Well, I don't really play that game. It's the apples and oranges, and that's a civil violation. It's not a crime.
So you're saying that anything to do with election tampering
No,
is not?
I'm telling you, it's apples and oranges, sir. Stop sign's not the same as what we're talking about.
Okay, fair enough. I'll digress on that point. So the point I'm making here is that I think there should be something looked into, and I thought the Rhode Island State Police. I was referred to contact the Rhode Island State Police when I gave my information in a little more in depth than what I'm giving you now, because
Right,
you'd have
and
to
we
see it.
referred you to the Attorney General's website where they have a portal for this.
Right, and with all due respect, sir, do you have faith in the Attorney General's office?
Well, sir, I know everything we push forward goes directly to the Attorney General's office. We don't just send things to court. Like, it goes through the Attorney General.
I understand that, but usually it's investigated by a law. Again, I'm not a legal person, but usually law
But
enforcement would
what I'm
investigate it
saying
and then
is they
turn it
have
to
a
a
portal to
prosecutor.
report this, and then like for instance, like I spoke to somebody today, the alleged I use the term alleged false signatures on a state level candidate's thing was referred to us by the Attorney General's office.
Right, so because you're the investigative body, correct?
Right, after it went through the Attorney General's office. Cases like this go both ways. Sometimes they come in, like, we get all kinds of cases, like, capital cases, drug cases, all kinds of stuff comes in
Right.
the Attorney General's office
Well-
and then comes out to us to investigate. And then sometimes they come in through here to investigate and they go through here. We just don't deal with,
Investigations of voter fraud?
No, I'm certain that we would deal with it, but we're not the determining factor on it. Usually that's the AG or the Board of Canvassers or the state election board.
No.
It's not that we don't want to hear your complaint, sir. It's that
Well, that isn't the way that I felt today.
no, I know
can
for a
tell you.
fact that is what we were told, that we directed you to report it to the Attorney General's office.
Right,
But you don't have any faith in the Attorney General's office, so you don't want to use the procedure that's in place.
Well, you just said that there are multiple ways to do it. That sometimes it goes through you first, and then sometimes it goes through them first. I was advised.
said
I was
that in
advised
to,
by a
other
former,
types of capital
well-respected
cases, sir,
state
but in this type
trooper.
of case, typically they come to us through the Attorney General's office.
I understand, and I'm not trying to be combative with you. I'm actually looking for your help. But you're
I'm trying to
saying,
give it to you, sir.
Right, you're saying typically, and I'm saying that I have something that I would
Well,
like.
sir, this is probably the second case of alleged voter fraud we've ever gotten here.
Well, we do live in Rhode Island, and I have
I'm
some.
not-
I have
sir,
some
I'm not
pretty.
gonna
I have
generalize.
some pretty damning. I have some pretty damning information here that I think.
I
that
know, but
an
okay. The
investigator.
other thing is is that available to? Where is that available to the public?
It's
'Cause I'll look
available
at it
to the
right now.
public. So you could either contact. I can give you the. I don't want to butcher her last name, Kathy. In the Secretary of State's office, she handles it. I can hold on. I can actually tell you, but she sends it out every day. But it is a matter of public record, and the reason why it is a major issue is because those particular requests that are not being reported, apparently it could. Now, is this an issue at the Board of Canvassers? Okay, at the East Providence level, or is it an issue at the Secretary of State's office? And there are some dots to connect, and that's where I think an investigator is important. And
So what I just want to try to wrap my head around this. What you're saying is that you believe that people are requesting absentee ballots, mail-in ballots. I guess I'm a little older, right? Think about them as absentee ballots, as we used to call them. And that those requests are not just being fulfilled.
Well, so they're not, because we have almost 40.
So have you spoken to anybody who has requested an absentee ballot and told you that their request hasn't been fulfilled?
No, because it's not about it's not about fulfilling the request of the ballot. What it is you make the request.
Yep.
The request is then verified by the Board of Canvassers.
Yep.
The Board of Canvassers reports that request to the Secretary of State's office on a daily basis.
Yes.
That information is disseminated every single day by the Secretary of State.
What I asked you, sir, was
Yes.
have you spoken to somebody who has made a request for a mail-in ballot and has not received one?
No, because you wouldn't receive it yet. I think we're disconnected on the fact of procedure. The mail-in ballots till August
If you
18th.
don't this is what I'm saying, though, sir. If you don't have somebody who has said, yes, I made a request and it was not fulfilled.
Well, because you're not. I don't think you. I don't know how many elections you've worked in, and so I'm going to assume that you're not understanding what I'm saying because maybe you haven't had a lot of experience in this. What I'm
Sir, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that people are making requests and they are not being fulfilled.
No,
Correct?
no, that's not. No, you're again. If you allow me to finish what I'm explaining and just try to follow me.
Okay. All right.
The request for the ballot will not be fulfilled until the request for a mail-in ballot is closed, which is on August 18th this year. Okay? So you have up until August 18th to request the mail-in ballot.
All right. That was a key piece of information.
Okay?
So they don't send any ballots out anywhere until August 18th?
They don't set, well, August 18th,
They don't go
correct.
rolling out, so if I made a request now and I was verified, let's just say
Yes.
I made my request, it was approved, blah, 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 I did it right, I was able to do it instantaneously, I know it doesn't happen like that.
Yes.
It wouldn't get sent out once it was approved, it would not get sent out until August 18th?
Correct. What happens is as they're sent out, so as the requests get fulfilled and they get sent out, that's another process where the Secretary of State's office will provide that information daily. So if you were
So hold on.
Yes.
When a request is made,
Yes.
is it fulfilled by the Secretary of State's office after it's been made? Or do they not send these out until a certain date?
They don't send them out till a certain date.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Because you kind of conflicted yourself a second ago, so
No,
that's fine.
no, I know.
I'm
And that's
asking.
why I'm saying I'm going to be very, very clear. You have until a certain date, which this year is August 18th, to request a mail-in ballot.
Yes.
You have up until the day of the election. It has to be postmarked. You have to send it in. Okay.
Okay.
But they will, as the Secretary of State sends them out via mail, they mail them to the. So, for instance, if you were in a hospital and that's why you needed a mail-in ballot, they mail that directly to that hospital, to the bed that you're in. They want to make sure you get it that way. Okay.
Yep.
The day they do that, the Secretary of State will then put on their public record that, Officer Doherty, his mail-in ballot was sent out. It was mailed out. So it proves that it was already sent once they do that, right? What I'm talking about here is the requests are also documented on a daily basis that come from the Board of Canvassers. And why this is affecting an election is if there are requests that have been made and they're not being documented that these requests were made.
Okay, so you've spoken to people who have made requests.
No. I haven't spoken to anybody. I have a very.
That's called evidence.
Yes, and I have the evidence that no one in East Providence has been reported.
Yeah, sir, unless you have somebody who has made a request, that's unfortunately, while it is improbable, it is not impossible for 0 requests to be made for absentee ballots. You would need somebody to come forward and say, I made a request, here's my documented request, and then to show that it was on, that's what we would need.
Okay, so what I would ask, I understand.
Because what I'm saying is, if we just, let's say we go to the Secretary of State's office and they're going to say, we don't have any requests, okay, right? So then we go back down, we go to the Board of Canvass's office, and they say, we don't have any requests. right?
Yeah.
What we need is somebody to say, I made a request.
So I'm going to ask you to put on record of our conversation that on
This is a recorded line, sir.
Okay, perfect. On Thursday, July 16th at 5:31 p.m., we had a conversation, and at that time, there have been no requests recorded by the Secretary of State, which they would receive from the Board of Canvassers, from the city of East Providence, that East Providence has reported 0 requests.
Okay.
So that we have that documented. So if I were to find someone, let's say I made a phone call right now and I had a number of people that live in East Providence and say that over the last 3 weeks that this has been open, I have gone and I have requested a mail-in ballot, then we would have a violation?
I don't know if we'd have, again, that would warrant investigation.
Okay. So
Okay, because like you said, maybe they sent in their maybe they sent in their thing, but they didn't send in the proper supporting documentation. Maybe they didn't fill out the form correctly, right? I mean, you said there's a number of boxes that need to be checked, correct?
yeah, you
So
request
that's the way, you know what I mean?
request
So
the form.
let's say
Yes.
you came up with 5 people, and 3 of them just didn't fill out the form correctly, but 2 of them did fill out the form correctly, and they didn't get their thing. Now those 2 things, now we've got something to look into. But the other 3, we can't look into that because they didn't fill out the form and they were screened out by the Board of Canvassers.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, and I'd like to talk to you for 1 minute as Shane and Mr. Doherty, not just taking off our
I
2
can't
roles.
do that.
Well, no, I just want to say
I'm not going to do that with you.
okay, that's fine. Well, let me give you some more information then.
Go ahead.
There have been almost 4,500 requests for ballots, for mail-in ballots across the state of Rhode Island as of this morning.
Yep.
Every single community has had requests in multiples.
Sure.
So I just, again, you gave me a task. I'm going to go take that task, and I will go get you.
You understand what I'm saying, though, right?
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. I understand what you're saying.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
I understand what you're saying, and like I said, I have some significant evidence that if you were looking at it, or someone that was an investigator was looking at it and followed the
That's not
followed the
sir,
trail.
I'm an investigator.
Right.
That's not evidence.
Okay. Well, so if I have an individual,
you need a victim in order
if
to
I
have a crime.
all right, so if I have an individual who can either sign an affidavit or give us one statement to you that they have, in fact, they live in East Providence, and prior to the moment of you and I speaking, they have made this request.
You broke up a little bit there. Prior to what?
Prior to today, so prior to today, they made the request.
Yeah.
Then we are on the same page that would constitute as you referred to, a victim.
Yeah, certainly.
And at that point, what would the next steps be, or how do we proceed?
Well, again, I'd refer you to the website, to the Attorney General's website. But if you want to come in, I'll take your statement, or take that person's statement, because you can't make a statement for them.
Correct.
Or obviously, if they're in the situation that you described, they're in a hospital, long-term care, we would go to them.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not going to make you go, oh no, we're not going to take your statement because you can't get your human body into state police headquarters. No, of course not. So, and if it's somebody who's out of state, but we also, have you talked, now I'm just digging into this more. Have you spoken to the Board of Canvassers at all?
In East Providence, I have not. I have not spoken to the Board of Canvassers.
I don't know if maybe that's the approach you want, maybe another approach you want to take.
I don't, because I believe there may be nefarious activity, and I would rather have, as you pointed out, the information now, before I go to the Board of Canvassers. Because let me ask you this: if tomorrow tomorrow evening or this evening, because I didn't see the email yet, but I'm going to actually look to see if it came in. If this evening, a bunch of these were, because somebody happened to be realize what was going on because of a video that's online, and all of a sudden, 100 requests get posted.
Yeah.
I believe that this could potentially have put many people at a disadvantage as far as the seeking office, and I believe that what I would think would be, first of all, I know it would be unethical, but again, a crime, I'm not a legal scholar, I'm not an attorney or a police officer, so I wouldn't know where to begin. But if a Board of Canvassers member held up information and maybe provided that information to a particular candidate and not to another one, would you consider that election interference? Or how would we determine that?
I need some clarification on that scenario a little more.
All
I
right.
understand the part about the canvasser holding back
So
the information.
So there was an
And
issue
then-
with signatures, right? That,
Yeah.
that you're aware of.
I'm sorry, what? There were signatures?
Yeah, there was an issue in East Providence
Yeah.
regarding
Yeah.
signatures that you were aware of.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were aware of it.
Mhm.
And there were other
We're
issues.
not even talking about that. We're just talking about the absentee ballots?
Right now, we're just talking about the absentee ballots. I mean, I obviously think that there's an issue that should be investigated regarding that, but this is something, this is separate and apart from that with these absentee ballots.
So here's the thing, where that's been kind of in, like, I don't know if we would handle that because, I don't know, like, again, I think that's the kind of thing that would have to go through, like, the public corruption unit definitely at the Attorney General's office in order to get us to investigate, like, a city board of canvassers.
Well,
I don't think we would do that just based on the citizen complaint.
Can you understand my
No,
apprehension?
I do, sir. I'm just trying to explain to you that, like, that requires a little more teeth.
Yep.
You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just...
Right, but here's my apprehension with the Attorney General's office. The Attorney
I
General is an
understand,
elected
sir.
official.
I do. I mean...
He's
like,
an elected official.
Yeah, I get that.
I have very little faith in that office. I'm sorry, but that's just my feeling.
I understand that, but that doesn't change the way things get done, sir.
Right, but
I can't...
But if a potential crime was being committed,
Yeah.
regardless, like you said, whether it's a stop sign, which is a civil infraction, or whether it's a murder, a crime is a crime. And to me, if I was, and again, I did what I did today, and I came to you because I was advised by someone who was a former member of your organization who said, this is exactly what I would do. So that's exactly what I did. So you have to understand, they didn't say to me, go to the AG's office. And I think
Sure,
this
who was
person, I'd rather not disclose that at this moment because I think that, you know, I think that person wanted to give me that information in confidence, and I wouldn't want to do that. And I don't know if it's relevant to this situation, other than pointing out the fact that I did get this advice from someone who knows a little more. It's not like I just came in out of the blue and I'm some person who's like, hey, I got this crazy idea that there's voter fraud.
No, I know. I just let people say things sometimes. You know what I mean? You know, trust and verify.
Listen, I get it, and I'll live on my own record. I mean, you could do a search on me. I asked actually about a gentleman, and I didn't even know if he's still there because it's been so long. But 20 years ago, I had a great interaction with a former trooper, and I'll say his name was Timmy Allen. And I know
he's retired.
Yeah, I figured by now he must be retired, and that's why I said his name earlier, because he said, hey, if there was ever an issue and I needed something in the future, always reach out and give him a call. And
Good dude.
Great guy.
Great dude. Yep.
Great guy. And so again, I'm not going to walk in and first of all, I'm not going to walk in and waste your time. I'd like to consider myself a pretty serious person and someone who's, not going to waste time or make some frivolous case that I'm very confident in the information that we have, and when you follow and connect the dots, that something nefarious is happening. And at very worst case, if it's not
back
nefarious,
to the other thing, as far as like if I understand what you're saying, like you're kind of creating a buzz about this, and all of a sudden, like the Secretary of State's office reports that there's 67 ballots that have been requested. It would be, once again, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And if everybody gets their ballots before, at the time they're supposed to get their ballots, again, a crime hasn't been committed. Right. Unfortunately, there's a lot of ways to explain that away. I don't know how Board of Canvassers work. Maybe they maybe they decided they were going to hold on to them all until a certain date.
I spoke to the Secretary of State. They are supposed to.
Yep.
Now, again, I don't know if there's a law, but according to the young lady who I dealt with at the Secretary of State's office today, who is the person that is, in fact, she said that she is, and she's like, listen, if you tell me, if you have something, give it to me. I'll run up the ladder. And I said, I don't want to give it to you yet because I'd like to have some sort of law enforcement that at least if someone's going to change, I want some documentation. I want some understanding that there was something going on, and if after the fact we covered it up, I want it reported before that, so that we can go back and look at it.
Well, again, that's the problem, sir. Like, unethical, yeah.
Right, and if
it's difficult to prove what somebody's motivation. I mean, I don't know.
Conspiracy is not that big of a threshold.
If people get their ballots before, at the time they're supposed to get their ballots.
Right, but the issue is not getting the ballot. The issue is the fact of getting the information of who has mail-in ballots and who requested a mail-in
Right.
ballot. Because in an election, the highest propensity voters are those that request a mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
And if I'm a candidate and I have access to those people where my other opponent doesn't, that is a major advantage and something that I would call election interference or election fraud. Now, we can argue, in fact, but
I'm not arguing it, sir.
no, what I'm saying is that the fact is that if conspiracy isn't the largest threshold to and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're a legal guy, but conspiracy is not a high threshold in order to prove, right?
Sir, it's the same threshold as any other crime. It's
Well,
preponderance of the evidence.
Right, and if
It's
you
preponderance,
and who is the secretary? Let me ask you a question.
which
Who's
is beyond a reasonable doubt.
who is the Secretary of State of the state of Rhode Island?
Greg Amore,
Where's he from?
East Providence.
Okay. Do you find it any at all interesting that East Providence is the only one not reported and the Secretary of State has not made any kind of interest into that?
No.
No?
Can I ask? Let me ask you this, because you
Yep.
seem like a guy who's got his facts and figures in line.
Yep.
How many mail-in ballots did East Providence request for those two districts last election cycle?
I don't have that readily available in front of you, but I can absolutely get it in a
Yeah,
timely manner.
that would be definitely something we would want to know.
I can tell you this for 100% certainty, it wasn't zero.
Yeah, I believe it. But
Yeah.
was it 10? Was it 14? Was it 530? Those are different. Those are very different numbers.
Well, I can tell you this, and obviously in 2020 is going to have the highest because that's when most mail-in ballots became a thing during COVID. So if I went back
Right.
6 years, you're going to have the highest rate, and then since then all the communities,
I'm not a stats guy, but a
right,
statistician would probably throw that one out.
right.
But yeah.
But all the communities on average, believe it or not, are very close. And if you do the math, right now there's 39 cities and towns.
Yeah.
You have about 4,500 already requested. You have another month that people can request them.
Yep.
So we're averaging somewhere near 100. Now, obviously, a place like Providence has significantly more than, say, a place like Coventry.
Yeah.
But when you look at it overall, they're averaging about, probably close to 100
Yep.
per municipality. For a municipality to have zero, that's a weird anomaly.
Yeah.
For a municipality that has, and here's why it's unique, District 14 is only in East Providence, the Senate district.
Yep.
District 65 is
Yep.
only in East Providence. So
Yep.
when you look at every other numbered district, they all show some reporting because it's East Providence along with Barrington. So when you look at
Sure.
16,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So the point is, who is the sitting senator in District 14?
Is Val Lawson?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is who?
Senate President.
Right. And then who is in District 65?
Is that Katie Kazarian?
That's Dawson. In
Dawson. Oh, Matt Dawson, right?
Right.
Yep.
And what is unique about that? Who sat in that seat prior to him?
Was it Law?
That would be your Secretary of State, Greg Amore.
Oh, gotcha.
So do you see the East Providence connection of what's going on right here? And so again, I don't have your victim
Those
yet.
kinds of connections don't necessarily indicate criminal behavior.
Well, but if I have an individual who comes forward and says on July, let's use a hypothetical,
absolutely.
on July 2nd, I put in a request for a mail-in ballot and that hasn't been reported yet.
Yeah.
Do you see where, from an election standpoint, there is an affair? And by the way, not only is it affecting the East Providence, this, in my opinion, is a federal issue because there are federal races that are also going on that encompass East Providence, and at some point, and I have, just full disclosure, I have passed the information along to to the DOJ and to the I didn't go to this I won't go to the AG, but I went to the U.S. Attorney and passed along information and explained my whole day and what I went through and how I haven't been taken seriously. And like I said, I would not come and waste time to the state police.
I take issue with that statement. Okay, I take serious issue with that statement. Okay, you were given a path. We took a handwritten statement from you, okay? You were absolutely taken seriously, so I take issue with that.
So, Mr. Doherty, Sergeant Doherty, my apologies, Sergeant Doherty. When I was there earlier and I asked to speak to you, you wouldn't speak to me, but yet you called me to have me call you. So, what prompted you, where you wouldn't speak to me when I was present in the station earlier, but you were prompted to give me a phone call and want to have a conversation?
Sir, it wasn't. It was never put forth to me that it was requested to speak to you. I
Oh,
up myself, and I provided the trooper at the desk with the information because I wasn't over here.
I think if we ask Trooper Murray and we have to be honest with you, Murphy, excuse me, what I say, Murray? Yeah, Murphy. If we ask Trooper Murphy, I asked directly to speak to the sergeant that gave him that information, and I asked for your name, and he was reluctant to give it to me, but then he gave me Sergeant Doherty. So I know that because he gave it to me, and I did request to speak to you, and he said that you weren't available.
Oh, okay.
But yet you called. So
at that time.
I appreciate you calling, but my point, I'll ask again, what prompted your call?
I decided to look into this a little further.
Okay, so again, so there is some for you to do that. I have to have some sort of credibility. I have to have some sort of something for you to look into it. If I was just a frivolous person walking in the streets, walking in off the streets of Scituate to give you some information, I mean, you think I really like a person to drive out of their way? And I get you deal with a lot of crazy people. I completely understand that. I wholeheartedly understand that. But I was very is direct, and is the way I'm speaking to you is how I tried to deliver the message.
No, and I understand that, sir, and you were given the path that is provided to the public to take. I'm sorry that you don't feel comfortable with it.
Right,
it doesn't change.
But you agreed. No, it's not about
the procedure.
It's not about. You just admitted on my call that sometimes it goes directly to you and then to the AG.
No, sir. No, do not conflate my words. I said when it comes to capital cases, sometimes they come in directly through the AG's office. Sometimes they come through us.
Right.
I said that in relation to capital cases. But I also said that typically the only other voter fraud case that I know of that came in through the AG's, and I gave you the example.
Okay, again, I understand that.
That's the one I have knowledge of. So please don't conflate my words.
But do you think totally separate
topic?
Listen,
what I think,
forget voter fraud, forget anything. If an individual, a citizen, a taxpayer, a citizen of the United States of America in the state of Rhode Island walked into the state police barracks and asked, "May I please speak to a state police detective because I have some information I'd like to relay to them and get some advice back," you don't think I deserve that, or any individual deserves the opportunity to speak to a detective?
Not if that's not the procedure, sir. If somebody comes in here and says, "I think my doctor committed medical fraud," we would send you to the medical board. Or through the Department of Health.
Wow.
Well,
maybe we need to rethink our.
You know what I mean, sir? Like we have
policing.
these regulatory agencies for these reasons, and then typically, if they find out that like the doctor has been prescribing things they shouldn't have prescribed, that can be investigated solely within the AG's office or farmed out to us.
Well, I would say this to you.
I'm just explaining to you the way things actually work.
I get that, but let's be totally frank with each other. Do you think there isn't corruption in those offices, these bureaucratic offices that you're recommending? In other words, if I don't have faith in the Department of Health, you're telling me that I can't go to a law enforcement agency?
Of course, I believe that the state agencies operate with the utmost integrity. I certainly know what the Rhode Island State Police does.
Well, has the Rhode Island State Police ever arrested anybody for wrongful activity that's an elected official or one of those members of an agency?
I'm not gonna. We could do this all day.
Right. So I came to the agency that I had the highest respect for and the most regard for, that I thought I would get the honest feedback from.
And sir, you were given a path.
Right, to an agency,
again, I can explain it to you a couple different ways, but that's the way it goes.
Right, to an agency that doesn't have a whole lot of faith, and that's all my point was. I was following advice.
Sir, I understand that, okay, but if you here's the thing: if you're not happy about the construction on the 195 bridge, are you going to come to the state police about it?
If I thought someone was doing some nefarious activity, if I thought someone had bad concrete or there was something that was a crime going on, yeah, I would go to the state police with it. Or maybe I shouldn't.
The Department of Transportation or through the governor's office, and then that would get farmed out to us after that.
With all due respect, I think our problem is even deeper than I thought. If law enforcement is not interested in enforcing the law, or at least entertaining it,
time that law enforcement wasn't interested. I did not. So please do not put words in my mouth. I don't appreciate it. I told you that we are willing to investigate anything that comes our way, and it just has to come our way in the appropriate manner.
So I'll leave on this. I'll leave on this.
Your story that the state police doesn't want to hear what you're saying is not true.
Well, it is true because I walked in today, and the state police told me go tell your story to the AG.
On this with you, okay?
Did they or did they not?
I told you what to do. All right.
Right, you told me to
now
go see the AG.
We've been on this phone conversation, and the only evidence you have is no evidence.
No, it's no evidence. So let me ask you
Literally
again.
no
I'm going to ask
evidence.
you. I'm going to leave
You
on this
need a
because you've
vic-
given me a lot of time, and I appreciate the 40 minutes that you've given me.
You need a victim,
If-
right?
if a
and you
victim-
need some kind of tangible evidence.
If a victim walks in, which the definition of a victim in this case would be someone who can say, I requested a mail-in ballot prior to July 16th at
It
5:51
doesn't
p.m.
even have to be prior to July 16th. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is,
That's the thing, sir. If you don't find anybody in the next couple of days that is required, that has done that, and it comes in 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, the day before, what did you say, the August 18th is the deadline?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple days before August 18th, that's fine. It doesn't have to be before July 16th.
No, I understand that, but my
I'm
no.
not-
What I'm saying is,
pigeonhole you,
if
like-
someone made the request, if someone makes a request tomorrow and it gets reported, and then the borough campus says, well, we never had requests before that, then there's no nefarious activity, as you pointed out. What I'm just confirming is that if there is a voter in East Providence who has requested a mail-in ballot and it has not been properly documented by the Board of Canvassers and then therefore sent to the Secretary of State and reported properly prior to today, that is what I would consider a victim. Are we in agreement?
We are in agreement.
Okay, so if someone comes in and we walk in the state police barracks in Situate,
But here's the thing, sir. They're
Yes.
going to need to provide some backup documentation for that.
sure, I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that.
Just so you're aware.
If someone made a statement and they sign an affidavit on, to swear under the penalty of perjury, would that be when someone makes a statement? They must do that, correct?
Yeah, you can't provide a false report to a police officer. No.
Correct. And so if someone does that, that's against the law.
Yes.
Okay. So if someone came in with,
I'm just saying they're going to need to provide a little more than just like, I sent this in, or
well, they could go online probably and have a document of it if they did it online. If they mailed it,
something like that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make you the most prepared you can be. 'Cause I'm certain
appreciate
you're going
that.
to come in with this person,
I
and that's
appreciate
fine.
I certainly appreciate that, and I appreciate your time. And again, I hope you understand. I'm not trying to be contentious with you, but I'm just trying to be direct. And
No, and I'm not trying to be contentious either, but I'm just trying to explain to you how things work.
I thank you for that. I do appreciate it, and I will also say that I do have a little experience with friends in law enforcement.
Unless you're in law enforcement, it's just not the same.
I agree with you, but I will say this. One of my great friends who's a detective, not in this state, always told me, we always talk about connecting the dots. That's what detectives do. They connect dots,
Sure.
right? I have a lot of dots, and I'm going to give
But
you.
unless-
I'm going to give you the silver
But they don't
bullet.
start connecting any dots until they have a victim, sir.
Right, I understand that. And I'm gonna get. I know there are victims out there, and we're gonna get them. And I'll bring you the
Right.
silver bullet. But I really hope that the Rhode Island State Police, continue to have to operate in the way that I always believed that they did. And I thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was extremely disappointed in my interaction today, and I'm not going to hold that against them forever. And I hope that in the future, they just consider the fact that as a member of the public, I know you deal with a lot of crazy people, but maybe just a little more humility than I received today would be appreciated.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Sergeant Darty. I really appreciate your time.
All right, no problem. Like I said, I'm not always. I mean, obviously, I don't work every day. I work 3 on, 3 off. I don't want you to pin you down to me. I just want to fill you with confidence that, if you come in with legitimate evidence, that you're going to be heard.
I would assume maybe an investigative task force that deals with this stuff. I don't know.
Maybe what?
Like, I know you have some investigative task force that
Everything goes through here. Those guys are, you would wait an hour and a half to try for me to get somebody at the desk for that. If I was going to be able to.
Okay.
I understand it's a small state, but every investigator, we don't have investigators sitting around up on the second floor here, or that's just, they're all out doing something all the time.
I hope so.
No, and that's what I mean. So, we're the clearinghouse. I could spend hours telling you, like, the amount of crimes that we deal with at this front desk that never see a detective. So, I think this one would, because it's wide ranging and it'd be difficult for, a couple of road guys to track down. But
agreed. And it's
this isn't like the road trooper at the desk does a lot of detective work in this agency.
Well, and I'm sure they're qualified and capable. And as soon as I can provide you with what you asked me for, which I will.
Yeah, that's what we need. Like we're going to need something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll make sure that I'll just send a barracks email, and I'll just make sure that you get heard and I get notified wherever I might be.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that.
What will likely happen is, I don't know. I might just run this up the chain and see what they want to do. I'm kind of just chalk talking this out, but I want you to know that I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the only request I would make is because, again, as the further up the chain you go, it does become more political. So,
sir, we can't do that. Like, you got to understand. You have to.
No,
you have to assume that things are going to operate the way they're supposed to operate.
Right, and all I was just going to say is that please put it in the best hands that you think would make the most sense in this case. That's all I want to say.
Well, that's probably going to be beyond my pay grade.
Fair enough.
So I don't do investigative assignments. So let's see. PICHE, and this isn't the number. Is this the number I called?
No.
I see 231-3220. What's the best number for you?
401-640-5765.
640
5765.
5765. Okay. All right.
Very well.
So I'm at work. Here's the thing. I am at work the next 2 days, so if you do happen to come up with something, by all means, call here and ask to speak to me. And then I'll make arrangements. Maybe I can make arrangements to have somebody talk to you if we, you know what I mean, if you are, kind of make an appointment.
Okay.
All right?
I will certainly do that.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
Well, that was interesting.